My lords, my ladies, and everyone else here not sitting on a cushion, today you find yourselves equals, for you are all equally blessed. For it is my pride, my privilege, nay, my pleasure, to introduce to you my co-host, the seeker of serenity, the protector of Italian virginity, the enforcer of our Lord God, the one, the only, Sir Andrew Cowderoy.
Welcome to Showreel.
Welcome to Showreel. I'm Andrew Cowderoy.
And I'm head writer Matt Clayton. We're your new host for the next 4 weeks.
Today is Showreel's 21st birthday, and to celebrate our 21st episode, and because Halloween is only 75 days away, we're having a horror-themed episode. We'll be chatting some film trivia and what is some people consider the worst film of all time, Ed Wood's Planet 9 from Outer Space. And as always, we'll have the latest in non-trashy entertainment news.
Joining us today is another man. That's right, for the first time ever on Showreel, we have 3 men together. We're just friends. He is the owner of the award-winning special effects props and prosthetics company, Slaughter Effects. He's also an award-winning horror filmmaker. His latest film is Daddy's Little Girl, and his name is Chris Sun. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Right, first of all, do you wear a hat?
Yes, I do all the time.
Excellent.
Because I'm getting bald. 4 kids.
Cool. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about Daddy's Little Girl?
Daddy's Little Girl was inspired by actual events. A real good friend of mine told me her story about how she was molested and stuff as a child. And I kind of got to thinking about this story, how it touched me, and wanted to write a script about other stuff that happened on the Sunshine Coast where I live, like, you know, the Daniel Morecambe case, Sean Kingy, and, you know, all those tragic murders, child abductions, and of course sexual assaults. So it's based on actual events, except for the end of the film, which is kind of Hollywood. Yeah, where we capture the bad person and teach him a lesson. Yeah.
So you wrote, produced, and directed this film, didn't you?
Yeah. I write all my stuff. I've never read a book in my life. Like I am the worst, like, grammar and whatever, but for some reason I can write a script. I don't understand it. It just flows. It's kind of interesting. When people read the script for the first time, it actually made them cry. And the first thing people said to me was, "You need to make a book rather than a movie." And I know nothing about books because I never read one except for Penthouse or something. So it was like, no, this is a film, and I kept along that road. So
yeah. So out of those kind of like all the stuff you did for the film, what do you think's your favorite part of it for you?
Definitely directing. I love being on. I'm still learning, obviously, but I'm a really good dictator. You do this. No, it's watching the talent, come alive and really deliver the characters for me, and I love being on. It's the rush of, like, you see somebody who you've practiced with or rehearsed. And then, the lights go on, the cameras go on, and it's for real. Especially, like, we worked with a child, Billy, on this film, and everyone says it's really challenging to work with kids. It bloody is. I was, like, under the back seat of the car, like, doing the lines. I was on the phone with her. It was such an experience. Like, from my first film, I never really considered myself to be a director. And after Daddy's Little Girl, because it has the drama and then moves into like the thriller and then the horror, I think now I can call myself a director, and maybe after the next film I'll be a good director. So you never know.
How many films have you made so far?
So far I've only done 2 films, Daddy's Little Girl and Come and Get Me. Look, my first film was a very low budget film, very ochre. It's actually quite terrible, but the talent were amazing. But it was a learning film. We had Bunnings lights and all the sound was recorded on camera. So, but it's a very gory film. I mean, I love horror, I love special effects. So we just wanted to kill a heap of people and move on.
Yeah.
Without going to jail for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point. But how did you get into filmmaking?
That's another funny one. I had a horror museum and people thought the museum was haunted. And I had these young filmmakers there and they wanted to shoot a documentary on me sleeping in the haunted museum, which I did. And then, I don't know what happened, we were sitting outside and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I said to young Bo, who's a great young documentary filmmaker now, he's an amazing kid. And I said to him, I'm gonna make a movie. And he's like, okay. And I said, no, I'm gonna do it. So from that moment, I'd never written anything, apart from when I was in grade 3, I wrote a story called The Killer Worms.
Nice.
When I was in grade 3. So I decided to shut up shop. I closed all my retail stuff. I actually shut everything, closed the museum, sold everything, and started making movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just took a gamble?
Yeah, and I'm broke. But yeah, that's what I did, and it's actually paying off. So
you didn't study filmmaking, you just got straight into it?
Nope. I mean, look, I've worked with a lot of people that have studied filmmaking, and some of them are fantastic, and some of them are textbook experts. But when you walk onto a set, you can have all the training in the world.
Yeah.
But when you walk on there, it doesn't matter. It all goes out the window. It's for real now.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything I do, including my special effects, is self-taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've heard a little about kind of the directing side and the writing side, but tell us a little bit more about Slaughter Effects.
Slaughter Effects is we're a horror prop making specialist. That's kind of what we do, from $50 heads to $25,000 heads. We work with some of Australia's best FX artists, and we also build a lot of stuff in-house, of course. But we mainly do a lot of props for private collectors, from Ed Gein-inspired furniture, like skinned lamps and boxes and chairs, to fun stuff like Frank here, and just depends on what the market wants. But we do a lot of film stuff, a lot of corpses and zombies and whatever.
How'd you get into that? How'd that start?
Okay, when I used to own a motorcycle store, and I went to America because I had a chain over there as well. And I've always had this passion for horror stuff, and I started putting it in my shop, and then I decided I wanted to make it, so I started making it.
Wow.
And I've never been taught how to do any of it, it's all just come natural. I'm kind of arsey like that.
Yeah. No, yeah, you see, it seems like,
Yeah.
filmmaking, horror stuff, just kind of really good at getting into it.
Yeah.
But what is it about kind of that horror, those horror aspects and making those things that kind of appeals to you?
I think it's I don't really know. I mean, I love horror. I love horror. I mean, my name is Christopher Lee. My mum named me after the original Dracula when I was born, so maybe something happened there. I don't know. So I guess it's in the blood. Yeah. But my whole family are not horror people. I'm the only one, and I think it's just the fact that I just love blood and guts and killing people without going to jail.
Yeah. So who are your film idols?
Stephen Boyle definitely is a special effects artist. He's probably my hero, and we work together a lot. So Stephen Boyle, but then in directing, I guess film, be Alfred Hitchcock, someone like that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean Tarantino's got my first film, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Steve Boyle and Alfred Hitchcock.
Wow, yeah. But out of those kind of filmmaking idols, what would you say your favourite film is, do you think?
Evil Dead. The original Evil Dead.
Original.
Not the new one, the original Evil Dead. So
yeah.
Definitely. That's the first horror movie I ever saw when I was about 7 or something. I hid outside the house while Mum and Dad were watching it, looked through the window, so that's how I saw it.
Well, we have to take a break now, but thanks for joining us, Chris. We'll be back soon with more Showreel. Don't go away.